everyone, and we're going to work on Ravelry right now. So I'm at the home page of Ravelry. If you have not joined yet, click the Join Now button. It's a simple, easy email verification, and it's completely free, except for patterns that you have to pay for, but there's a ton of free stuff. This is such a great website to have, especially if you're going to be knitting more often. So I'm going to log in. This is the home page that you log into. Now the easiest way to get your project put into your notebook is to go to the group, to click on the transfiguration, and to click on the course. With the poll, I included links to every pattern. So I'm going to be adding the 1 cable mitts to my queue. If you're going to be doing the scale mitts, follow the same thing for the scale mitts. It does not vary from pattern to pattern. It's just going to be a different pattern. So I'm going to click on 1 cable mitts. And here's the pattern page for it. So on the pattern, it actually tells you the yarn weight it suggests, the gauge, the needle size, and how much of the yarn you're going to need. Okay, and it's great, it's simple. I mean, it even has the pattern here, which you can always access once you make it in your projects. So I'm going to click on In My Project, and I'm going to create a project. I've already created mine, but I'm doing this to show you guys. So there's no information here other than the pattern. So what you can do is you can edit the project, which I completely suggest you do. Are you making it for yourself? Type in myself here. I'm making this for my friend Courtney. For the link to Ravelry, I don't even know how to pronounce that. You can type in my username. Oops. And link it to me so that I can actually see this in my queue or something. I'm not quite sure what that does actually. So crafts, it's going to be knitting. For tags, I didn't start using tags until too long ago. I started putting in the year because then I can actually search through years and figure out which projects I worked on what years. I'm also going to put in fingerless because that shows what this is. It's going to be a fingerless glove. So under needles, you're going to click Add Needle. And did you have to adjust your gauge? Yes or no? If you had to, you're going to choose a different needle. If you did not have to adjust your gauge, you're going to just click on US 9 because that's what the pattern calls for. For yarns, you're going to hopefully have that skein of yarn in front of you, and you're going to click on Add Yarn. For this, I'm going to be using Cascade 220 Superwash in Green Apple. So I'm going to be typing Cascade 220 Superwash. And I'm going to click this link button. If I click enter, it will actually close this out and save it. But if you click this link, you'll be able to find it here. And you can say which Cascade 220 Superwash it is. It will tell you if it's Sport or Aran or Paints or Quattro. I have just the plain 220 Superwash. For the colorway, you have all these colors to choose from. I've actually just started typing in stuff. It's a lot easier than trying to find it. So I'm going to type in Green Apple, and there it is. And what's the closest color? It's going to be green. So per skein, it actually has 220 yards. Really, I'm only going to be using half a skein for these mitts because it it requires 100 yards. I don't know if it's 100 yards per glove yet or not, but I'll put in half a skein. I actually have a food scale, and I weigh this and I double check it. I already have this in my stash, so I'll be connecting it to my stash yarn later. Something else I like to do is say where I purchased it from. I purchased this one from a local yarn store called A Stitch in Time. So again, you type it in and you click on that link and it will pop it up. There's a lot of stitches in time. Mine is in Bethel, Connecticut, so I'm going to click on that one. The date you purchased it. I actually purchased this back in February. And how much you paid for it. I paid $11 for the skein. Alright, if you already have this in your yarn, in your stash, you can use stash yarn. Or you could add more yarn if you're going to be using different colors. The notes section I use mainly for if I'm making any pattern adjustments. So like for the dragon scale mitts, I will actually be putting in that I cast it on 24 stitches instead of 32 because my hands are itty bitty. So I'm going to be making a smaller size. And I'm going to just write in the notes the differences that I did to help others who make it, who, you know, I'll write that my wrist size is actually 6 inches. You know, little things like that to help other people out. You can click Save Changes, which we're going to do. And anytime through the project, you can always update this little project box. And it has a click to edit in the bottom right. So you can say that it's in progress. When you complete it, you're going to mark it as finished. I'm going to leave it as in progress. Then you can add, you know, when you're going through the project, you can say how far through you are. When you knit 2, so week, I think it's 5. So when you complete week 5, you're going to be 50% done because you only have 1 done. And the other 50% will be the other one. You can say the day you started. So I could say it was today, or I could say it's September 11th when the class starts, because that's the week 1 swatch. I started this a while ago, but I'll just say September 11th, and then you just click Save Changes. Different things like that. Now to add photos, you just click on Add Photos, and you can choose the files. I'm going to go to the desktop because I have it on the desktop. Here's my little cable swatch. And I'm going to just upload it. Simple, easy. You can upload from Instagram if you have Instagram. You can upload from Flickr, Photo Bucket. I have an app on my phone that allows me to I paid for it. It's called Yarma, Y-A-R-M-A. And all it does is take my photos from my phone and uploads it to Ravelry rather easily. You can actually do this from your phone if you go to your web browser. Let me just double check this on my phone quickly. Yes, you can upload it through the web browser on your phone easily. So, I mean, you don't even need to get an app, and you can just do it that way. And you would, again, just like go into your projects and go to add photos. And that's it. It'll be in your projects, and it's right there, and it looks great. So, happy knitting!